Not one of those dinosaurs caught on camera in real life again videos. Let's just watch it.
There are many animals that were here at the beginning of the universe but have now gone extinct for various reasons, from habitat loss to overexploitation.
Non-avian dinosaurs started existing in the Triassic and all the way to the end of the Cretaceous, which is under 200 million years. 200 million years compared to 13.8 billion years for the age of the universe. That is still tiny. Also, what do you mean overexploitation killing the non-avian dinosaurs? Did humans just time travel and just hunt dinosaurs to death? Is this some sort of Jurassic Park madness that we're seeing over here?
An example of such an animal would be the dinosaur. Now extinct, they roamed the Earth millions of years ago, and until recently, when various claims were being laid to support the existence of dinosaurs.
Wow, okay. How do I even commentate on this? Dinosaurs still exist today in the form of birds. Non-avian dinosaurs, on the other hand, went extinct.
Some even claim to have captured them on camera. What better proof than what you see?
As you can tell, this creature shown right here, the blurry thing left of what seems to be a human, that thing is not a dinosaur.
Join us as we show you 15 times dinosaurs were caught on camera. And listen to me mispronounce a whole lot of their names. Number 1. Caged Lystrosaurus in Malta.
Is that how they got the Lystrosaurus from Jurassic World Evolution? Oh. Or is it just the Jurassic World... No, not Jurassic World Evolution, Jurassic World Dominion Lystrosaurus. Sorry guys, my bad.
The Lystrosaurus belongs to a group of mammal-like reptiles which are herbivores, and their name literally means shovel lizard due to their burrowing character. The Lystrosaurus looks somewhat cute and is likened to what you would get as the result of crossing a pig and a lizard, chubby and small with the body of a lizard. The Lystrosaurus is a wandering animal with short, solid legs that work to its advantage. Its legs were very powerful for digging and helped to build its den every night when it wandered from its previous home.
Also, there really is no explanation to why including this is just wrong in general. You should figure it out yourself.
The animal host went into extinction when a volcano known as an igneous province started erupting and scorched the land that was all around it, laying waste upon many things and killing off many animals and plants.
This thing survived the Permian-Triassic extinction. One of the rare cases where an animal managed to survive it. They managed to thrive in the early Triassic, but they went extinct anyways early on.
The Lystrosaurus survived this apocalypse by adapting to its new situation and then moving on to other regions with more favorable conditions. They lived underground and even amongst other predators, but still these small animals found their way around and watched as the world got better after the wave of mass extinction of species it experienced. Although later on, they gradually went into extinction through other causes, or so the world thought. Recently, a video would surface showing animals caged in what looks like a slaughterhouse in Malta, and upon closer examination, it looked like only rare species of animals were there, butchered and sold for meat.
That is probably not a recording. I hate to burst your bubble. This is most likely not a recording. Instead, it's just taken from a movie, and then this guy just decided to call it a recording.
One of the animals in the cage looked like a Lystrosaurus with the exact body type and features. The room was dimly lit, but from what could be seen, it could definitely be one of these dinosaurs.
It's really ironic. Actually, I might give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's a recording, but it's a really, really obscure recording, and that Lystrosaurus is fake.
Number 2. Pterosaur seen in Idaho. Pterosaurs were successful all throughout the age when dinosaurs ruled. The ones living on land, the ones in water, and the ones flying in the skies. Pterosaurs were examples of flying dinosaurs, and after insects, they were the first set of animals to engage in flying by flapping their wings to travel through the air. And if they were to exist these days, they may well be mistaken for a bat or a bird.
A bat. Bats are stupidly small compared to pterosaurs, and they don't look like pterosaurs. And pterosaurs don't look like giant bats. Bats do not look like miniature pterosaurs.
One man hiking through a remote forest in Idaho heard the sounds of rushing wind above him. Curious to find out what bird would make such a noise, he then brought out his phone to capture it and saw that it was no ordinary-looking bird. That bird was much bigger than usual and did not look like an eagle. It was strange-looking with a tail longer than a regular bird's. It was flying and gliding over the trees, and when it went out of sight, he followed the path, hoping to see it again and capture some better images, probably for research.
This is more than likely just editing and some special effects.
Pterosaurs flourished for over 150 million years, evolving from small flying reptiles with long tails to more giant reptiles with different distinct features such as crests, specialized teeth, and long jaws, some even as big as airplanes.
Average wingspan of airplanes really varies. A small one is around 6 to 12 meters. A regional jet is around 21 to 30 meters. But already at 12, it's still, the wingspan, it's still more than that of a Hadzigopteryx, Quetzalcoatlus or something.
The pterosaur also became extinct when the other dinosaurs went into extinction.
Other dinosaurs went to extinction. You didn't really word that properly. You should say that non-avian dinosaurs went to extinction.
Leaving no descendants and very few fossils, even fewer than many other dinosaurs. This new sighting may well mean that they in fact had some descendants. Number 3. Compsognathus in Oregon.
And you just showed the Compy. From Jurassic World Evolution this time, not Jurassic World Dominion.
When a set of people in Oregon decided to set a trap for rats and rodents, they would never have imagined catching anything as different and rare as this dinosaur. In this case, it's obviously furious and trying to break out of its self-induced cage. By capturing the animal on video, one could tell that the people around it were clearly fascinated by this strange and unexpected discovery.
Since Compy is obviously not with us anymore, it is more likely just a good amount of editing.
Much like rats and rodents, this dinosaur is a scavenger.
It actually preyed on small vertebrates. It is still technically a hunter, even though it doesn't really seem like it. Compy is still a hunter.
Living off the remains of food left behind by other animals, or even more enormous dinosaurs. Also called Compy, this dinosaur is a small predatory dinosaur that existed until about 146 million years ago. It's one of the most mentioned dinosaur species in novels. The animal is relatively small and only about 3 feet long, which includes its tail. The Compy is a bipedal animal having 2 long hind feet and a long tail for balance during movement.
Facts that have nothing to do with it being quote-unquote caught on camera in real life. And this is obviously a fake.
The 4 feet had 2 fingers ending in a claw. It's said that the more recent findings have evolved into a 3rd finger that was much more functional. Evolution looks like it's not stopping anytime soon.
This is clearly just meant to stretch out the runtime, just to keep the audience attention and get views.
Number 4. Ankylosaurus in California.
Ankylosaurus. I don't think that's how you pronounce the name properly.
If you ever come into contact with an Ankylosaurus from behind, you may not realize what you're looking at. Its back looks much like one wearing spiked armor. The Ankylosaurus belonged to a group of 4-legged herbivorous dinosaurs. The full name, Ankylosaurus californicus, literally means California fused lizard.
What? This species of Ankylosaurus did not exist. Did you mean Ankylosaurus magniventris? Are these big channels just making things up now?
As this was where they were thought to have originated from. It's not too surprising, and also quite ironic, that its next sightings would be in California. A family who was sightseeing saw this dinosaur while it was quietly drinking water by a stream.
It's meant to just be a prop for Jurassic World Dominion. And Jurassic World Dominion. That thing is not real.
And excitedly took a video. The Ankylosaurus is very large and dangerous looking, measuring up to 8 meters in length, weighing up to 8 tons when fully developed.
Biggest it could go is 9.47 tons by the CMN 8880 specimen.
This dinosaur may look scary with its big broad body covered in armored plates up to its neck and head.
Also, we're shown walking with Dinosaurs Anky, Clash of the Dinosaurs Anky, Clash of the Dinosaurs Anky. I guess it's a bit better than walking with Dinosaurs Anky, because walking with Dinosaurs Anky is just completely not an Ankylosaur, even though it has all the armor stuff. It's just a wrong-looking Ankylosaur.
Featuring 4 horns in total and leaf-shaped teeth for feeding, but it is not very hostile at all.
Unless if you provoke it, then it becomes really hostile.
As seen in the video, it simply slowly disappears when the people spot it.
Given that this is a Dominion Ankylosaurus, which is not a real Ankylosaurus, and it is also an inaccurate Ankylosaurus, yeah, no, this is definitely fake.
The slow movement of the Ankylosaurus should not deceive you, though. If the need arises, it can move much faster. If it senses any kind of attack or presence of possible predators, it has a sizable club-shaped tail made by the fusion of bones and a lot of other bony plates to help defend itself. Before being rediscovered, its fossils were primarily found in the United States, Canada, England, and France, and were widely studied to give insight into what it may have looked like and its behavioral patterns.
Because Anky doesn't have a big brain, its usual sort of daily habit is to eat and then sleep and then breathe.
Number 5. Baryonyx in Mexico. There was a time before now when many species of dinosaurs were being discovered, and a group known as Spinosaurus was part of those discoveries. What was not part of that era was the discovery of the Baryonyx.
This is another one of those Jurassic World Dominion capture thingies, which are not real, by the way.
Its fossils were found in England just a few decades ago. This dinosaur fed mainly on fish and has its long, slim snout to attest to the theory that it picked its fish fresh out of the water at mealtime.
This is clearly Spinosaurus and not Baryonyx. At least you're using an up-to-date Spinosaurus instead of the monstrous resurrected ones.
An easier way to describe this animal, and help you imagine how it may have looked, is that its snout is shaped like that of a crocodile. The first fossils of this dinosaur were discovered after a fossil hunter had noticed a claw, tracing it back to the rest of the skeleton. It was then named after the large-sized claw, with the Baryonyx being Greek word for heavy claw.
Now we're shown what looks to be a sauropod. That is not a Baryonyx at all.
A general misconception would be that the claw was used for tearing apart smaller animals, or even the meat for its food, because this is a fish-eating animal, and instead it used its prominently long claw to spear innocent wriggling fish as they swam past in the water.
It would have caught and processed its prey primarily with its forelimbs and large claws.
Although it does feed on fish, it has a lot of teeth, almost 100 in total. This fact, coupled with the dinosaur being up to 10 meters long,
and you used 10 meters for the height of the Baryonyx, and you say 10 meters long. This is the stupidest mistake that I've ever seen. I think I've seen it before, though. Bright side.
And weighing anywhere around 1,700 kilograms, you shouldn't be shocked at this man's heavy breathing after coming across such an animal. It's a good thing that he remembered to get proof in all of his exhilaration.
Okay, so Jurassic World, huh? Yeah, this is definitely edited. Props to them for making these creatures look real. I gotta give props to them for convincing a lot of people.
Number 6. Velociraptor found in the forest. Giving this species of dinosaur a name that means quick plunderer
That is a scaly velociraptor.
means that they were believed to be good hunters. Studies that have been conducted on their brains have shown that they had a very keen sense of smell, and their long muscular hind limbs allowed them to move at very fast pace, hitting up to 24 miles per hour, which was perfect for chasing their prey. Their hunter anatomy continues with their sharp serrated teeth and long protruding claws.
I guess showing Jurassic Park / Jurassic World in this kind of videos is fine, as long as they don't claim it's a recording, at least.
Those claws extend from the second toe of each foot, having made them likened to birds of prey. Just like the hawk and the eagle, instead of using them to slash through the skin of their prey, it's instead used as the hawks do, to pin and pierce.
Which is called raptor prey restraint, which is definitely much more plausible than that of just disemboweling, because these claws weren't that sharp.
Apart from the long claw, the Velociraptor shares some other features with modern-day birds, like their forward-facing toes, hinged ankles, wishbone, and most prominently the feathers. But unlike modern-day birds, velociraptors cannot fly, but are instead grounded. It turns out that their arms are too short to fly, and the wishbone that would usually serve as a spring between the breast and the neck of a bird to help them fly is not appropriately shaped in the velociraptor to support its wings flapping.
We all know that a velociraptor cannot fly. That's literally a fact that 99.99999% of people can agree with.
Some velociraptors have been seen with wings. In addition to a study on a velociraptor fossil where quill knobs were found on its forearm, leading researchers to decide that the presence of the feathers was a leftover result of evolution. This is a good explanation of why this lone velociraptor walks by, obviously ignoring the person watching it. Oh, such luck.
So I think that a raptor is embarrassed, capable of human feelings. Probably not what you meant by that. Honestly, I'm not sure what I'm trying to say.
Number 7. Pteranodon in Spain. Although pteranodons are included in this list, they have been an object of discussion for scientists for quite a long time. They lived in the same time and era as the dinosaurs, but many argue that they're not dinosaurs. They're a group of flying reptiles.
That's literally pterosaurs for ya. They are not dinosaurs.
One of the differences in their anatomy, the dinosaurs have a hole in their hips and a crest in their upper arm and bone, which the pteranodon does not have.
I know this is a pterosaur, but Pteranodon is one type of pterosaur. This is not a pteranodon, I'm sorry.
People believe that they're only closely related to dinosaurs, but whether it's a type of dinosaur or not does not stop anyone from being in utmost fear or shock of coming across such an animal, a giant flying reptile swooping in from nowhere and almost crashing into the young man on a stroll.
Department of Prehistoric Wildlife. Thanks for making a bit convincing recording, even though it is not actually real.
Gently enjoying nature and capturing its beauty in a park in Spain. But for the man's quick thinking, he could have suffered a kick from its claws or, even worse, get picked up.
Actually, no, it's probably not that convincing, because if there were actually pterosaurs, the pterosaurs would have appeared right at the very beginning.
These animals lived with the dinosaurs and, sadly, also went extinct with them, and there was no proof of their existence until 1784 when their fossils were rediscovered. Their name was coined from their primary flying apparatus, a stretch of skin and muscle membrane on their wings that spans their long fourth fingers to their hind limbs. This winged reptile could also walk on all four limbs and also use them to launch into the air, with the largest ones reaching up to 67 miles per hour in a few moments.
I think you confused largest with fastest. Stop using largest on literally everything.
Although pteranodons fly, modern-day birds were not descended from them. Instead, they descended and evolved from more terrestrial animals. Number 8. Gallimimus runs for cover in Pittsburgh.
That pronunciation is not great, and it's called Gallimimus. Also, is this even Gallimimus? Look at its arms, they're oversized.
The Gallimimus grows to a height reaching 3 feet, weighing up to 900 pounds.
I'm pretty sure Gallimimus is around 6 feet 3 inches tall at the hip. It had a mass of around 880 to 1,080 pounds, which is that estimate is fine.
Yet this animal would not directly attack a person, feeding mainly on fruits, insects, lizards, eggs, and other small animals.
Whether it's an herbivore or omnivore or something else is not clear, but it will probably attack you if you provoke it.
Rather than hunt for its food, it forages through what is available. They don't have any teeth, but teeth-like things which they use to grip their food, especially the more slippery ones. This dinosaur is a shy species of bird that moves very fast.
Except the Gallimimus is not a bird. It is called a chicken mimic. Chicken is a bird. Gallimimus, however, is not.
Avoiding any contact with a possible predator, even when walking, rather than moving slowly, it keeps a moderate trot. So when a herd of these were startled by a man hooting his horn, they took to their heels and ran away from the scene. The animal is quite gentle and does not look for any trouble, so it uses its features to keep it out of it.
Again, it shows that it's not really a carnivore, so this anatomy shows it's not a carnivore. So if you provoke it, then it's probably going to kill you.
Its long neck is mildly flexible and can quickly turn to survey the surroundings to escape predators in time. The animal is also quiet and usually does not make a sound, except as a warning for other members of its family to notify them of an incoming threat and to prevent a collision.
I don't think most other dinosaurs would also make sounds for no reason. They make sounds because of some objectives. Maybe like calls for help or something, yada yada. Calls to identify themselves.
Even with its sturdy body, the bird is quite fragile, and colliding with another one like this would result in an injury. To ensure the animal stays safe from predators and collisions, it prefers to live in areas with wide open spaces, usually in semi-arid floodplains with rainfall or near rivers and other bodies of fresh water.
Also kind of makes sense because predators usually like to ambush, so living out in the open would just discourage predators from trying to ambush them, because 99.9% of the time, not 99.9, predators would fail to hunt more in the open than in some sort of forest because of a lack of ambushing opportunities.
Number 9. Triceratops is crossing the road in Ireland.
Most certainly a fake one. Look at this Triceratops over here.
There are various dangers involved with moving on dark roads at night: theft, kidnapping, and driving into a couple of Triceratopses. That's right, a man would be driving in Ireland when he bumped into a couple of Triceratops crossing the road. How shocking it must have been.
I'm convinced that this is supposed to be an animation. Look at how these bushes just don't seem to be moved at all. They probably should have tried to make the bushes just get crushed a little bit.
Triceratops is a horrifying and prominent look, weighing up to 8 tons and stretching out to be 30 feet.
And you use Triceratops' height to measure 30 feet once again.
The front of its head was equipped with a large beak in front of its teeth. A unique rostral bone formed the core of the top beak, and its skull also featured a pair of horns, also called brow horns, which were approximately 3.3 feet long, one above each eye that totaled 3 bones, a shorter one above its mouth, and 2 long ones above each eye. Meeting such an animal would be a terrifying experience, except that he knew that Triceratops were plant-eating herbivores.
Which ironically makes the Triceratops even more terrifying than it should be. It doesn't mean that carnivores are not terrifying. I mean, once they're hungry, they're going to eat you. But herbivores, they don't have to eat you.
Although they lived in the same terrain as the Tyrannosaurus rex and are usually depicted as being in constant battle with them, they adapted to feed on low-lying vegetation with their beak-like mouths and strong jaws that were full of sharp teeth to sever and grind vigorous vegetation that would have been difficult for other herbivores to feed on. This may describe why the Triceratops couple gently passed by, paying no attention to the person or persons in the vehicle.
Okay, this is probably if the Triceratops is not provoked. If the Triceratops is not provoked, it will most likely just leave you alone. Rhinos are provoked by humans because they are hunted a lot. Triceratops, on the other hand, not so much because they went extinct already. This doesn't imply that this recording is real. I'm just pointing something out.
Number 10. Mosasaurus picked up in the Pacific Ocean. After reports of Mosasaurus sightings, the Department of Prehistoric Wildlife confirmed some sightings in the Pacific Ocean. The sighted Mosasaurus teamed up with a group of orcas to attack great white sharks.
This is most likely very good editing, because Mosasaurus is extinct.
Codenamed Mosa, this predatory animal was believed to have lived in the seas of Europe, North America, and Africa, and has now been sighted in the Pacific Ocean and Hawaii. The animal fed on turtles, large fish, and other smaller mosasaurs that could not defend themselves. The animal didn't seem interested in eating flesh, as it never attacked when it was sighted.
As if it's not going to attack something like turtle flesh. Basically, all of the Mosasaurus prey have flesh, just not human flesh.
The Mosasaurus looks like a whale, but is classified in the same category as a crocodile.
It is not even an archosaur. It belongs to the Squamata order, which includes lizards and snakes. So the Mosasaurus is actually more closely related to those.
It has a long, narrow snout lined with rows of teeth with sharp edges, and also has a long tail that helps it to swim, navigate the ocean, and balance the water pressure. The most recent sighting would be in 2022, when a Mosasaurus collided with a camera mounted on a deep-sea survey prospecting platform. After it came into contact with it, it swam away from the sight of the camera.
Yeah, it's probably just another Dominion thing. Jurassic World Dominion, dinosaurs everywhere thingy. Even though this thing isn't a dinosaur.
They're powerful, fast swimmers like a shark, and warm-blooded with inner skin that's coated with fat to help regulate their body temperature in their own habitat. They also have a poor sense of smell, using their forked tongue like that of a monitor lizard for smell.
But it also has to hunt. Because it's an apex predator of its environment. It has to compete with Tylosaurus, though, but does it really matter when, in this case, because Mosasaurus is a predator.
They have a wide range of tolerance and feed on a variety of food, so researchers are hopeful that we could have more of them in the coming years. Number 11. Dimorphodons in the Japanese sky. Dimorphodons are a type of pterosaur, a flying reptile living in the same era as dinosaurs. They lived in the areas of Europe but are now extinct. Researchers believe this happened due to their inability to compete with more enormous reptiles and dinosaurs for food. A group of these flying reptiles would be seen in Japan, flying high in the sky over the sea.
What I'm seeing, it's just birds, and that's it. Just birds. If they are actually Dimorphodons, then again, Jurassic World Dominion, dinosaurs are everywhere thingy, and it's not a dinosaur.
When a family went on a boat cruise, they quickly whipped out their phones to capture it. The sky was slightly cloudy and slowly full of bird-like creatures, until upon closer look, it would be seen that these were not birds at all.
Once again, it's just Jurassic World Dominion doing its shenanigans.
They had prominent front teeth and a long tail for stability. The group kept to their boat, and the Dimorphodons kept to the sky, keeping their distance from the boat containing humans. In case of a run-in with Dimorphodons, it is essential not to move close to them, as they may feel threatened at attack and may cause injury. If you have small pets close by when a Dimorphodon passes, they should be kept indoors, as they also feed on small animals and animal carcasses.
When they're hungry, yes, but when provoked, these pets will probably instinctively try and fight them, and just provoking them.
Although from their short, high skulls with long, pointed front teeth, it can be concluded that their main diet consisted of fish.
So they probably wouldn't even go after those pets anyways. Unless provoked.
The Dimorphodons are not very big reptiles, weighing about 2 kilograms at the height of 1 meter, living in small groups of 3 and 4. The first proof of their existence was the discovery of their fossils in 1859. Number 12. Nasutoceratops, found in Calgary, Canada. The past and present are always linked together. We often find it if we're patient enough. The Nasutoceratops have been argued by many to resemble modern-day cattle. A researcher has noted that the similarities between the horns and the eyes, and concluded that if we can remain patient, the differences and similarities between the past and present will become more evident.
How do I even give comments on this sort of stuff?
Nasutoceratops are terrestrial animals feeding on grass. They're very large, having a short snout and rounded horns above their eyes, like the average cattle.
Nasutoceratops and cattle are two completely different things.
These horns are one of the longest on a dinosaur. After 2018, 2 of them were besighted in the wild, and soon afterwards they had a child. Again in 2019, they would be pictured foraging for food. When they got attacked, the female and the child were injured before the adult male came to the rescue, and they all fled into the wild.
They're literally not showing any actual footage of quote-unquote Nasutoceratops. This is all just gameplay.
One night, a little house dog would notice a strange creature outside the door. It kept on barking to alert its owners to the presence of a strange creature. The owners heard its bark and put on the porch light to see the problem, hoping that the light would scare the creature away.
That does not look like a Nasutoceratops. The horns are abnormally straight for a Nasutoceratops.
But instead, it further illuminated the creature and scared the dog away instead. At least the dog acted and alerted them, and we would have been scared as well. Number 13. Carnotaurus, sighted in Peru.
Yeah, another Jurassic World Dominion thing. They're Jurassic World Dominion so many times now. It's not funny.
The Carnotaurus lived about 70 million years ago in South America and was a predatory dinosaur, living and feeding on the meat of other mammals and even smaller dinosaurs. It measures up to 8 meters in length, weighing about 1,200 kilograms.
It was a bit bigger than that, around 1.3 to 2.1 metric tons.
The Carnotaurus is very well understood, and its only well-preserved remains were found in Argentina in 1985, just a few decades ago.
It was described in 1985. It was unearthed around 1 year earlier in 1984.
The Carnotaurus was on 2 legs and moved very fast. It was such motion that it was sighted hunting an animal down in the desert in Peru. It was sighted chasing after a bull-like animal, making roaring sounds as it ran before seemingly lunging forward to catch it.
There literally is no other explanation to this other than it's Jurassic World Dominion.
It had thick horns sitting above its eyes and a very deep skull on its muscular neck. Those horns and neck were adapted to fight rivals, as they could withstand substantial force when being hit by a strong blow. Their horns are also used as shock absorbers when a rival attacks. The sides of the animal would be lined with large bumps but no hints of feathers. Even its forelimbs were so small that they were described as just wrists and were vestigial with no known use.
Which is correct. Props to this channel, I guess. There really isn't anything to say.
Number 14. Baryonyx in Norfolk, United Kingdom.
Not this channel just casually showing the Spinosaurus once again.
In the early hours of the morning in Norfolk, a Baryonyx was found asleep at the side of a public pool.
JWD, Jurassic World Dominion.
People gathered around it, hunkered down, and watched as it slept. With heavy claws, it seemed to have wandered into the enclosure and fallen asleep. When it was first discovered, remains of its last meal of fish and others were found already fossilized inside of its ribcage.
Fossilized inside ribcage. Are you talking about a Baryonyx that died a long time ago, or are you talking about a Baryonyx from Jurassic World Dominion Live.
The main diet of the Baryonyx is fish, and its long hand is adapted to help it catch and spear the fish straight from the water. It's mainly a bipedal creature when moving, but also has been discovered to spend some of its time moving on all fours.
This is 100% a sauropod. Should I say sauropod? Should I?
Its neck was inflexible and relatively straight, with a long jaw that resembled that of a crocodile. With 96 teeth in total, 64 of them being on the lower jaw and 32 of them being on the much more significant upper. The fossil discovered still goes with some speculation as to whether or not it was wholly mature, as that would have helped to measure how mature the dinosaur is and know its expected features.
And this thing you're showing right here is not a Baryonyx. I'm pretty sure that isn't anyway. The head doesn't look like a Spinosaur.
Number 15. Triceratops in Indonesia.
This is not a Dominion one. This is probably just a set. And sets don't include actual non-avian dinosaurs.
The Triceratops is a plant-eating dinosaur with a large frill behind its neck and 3 horns, which is where it got its Latin name meaning three-horned face. Its frills have claw-like features scattered on them, and the 3 horns, one is a short snout above its mouth, while there are 2 other longer ones.
I gotta ask this guy a question. Who's gonna believe these non-avian dinosaurs and all these pterosaurs and stuff and Mosasaurus are real? Who's going to believe it besides, I don't know, 2-year-olds?
Tyrannosaurus rex attacks these animals, as they lived in the same terrain, and their horns and frills defend them, but it appears that these defenses did not help them a lot against humans, who captured these creatures in Indonesia.
This is just incredibly stupid. I don't even know how to describe this sort of commentary this guy is trying to say.
Military men are seen pulling on ropes while the dinosaur keeps drawing back and resisting. Some would claim that the video was fake and only an elaborate costume, or even a photo op that was used to spike curiosity of the public about a proposed dinosaur park, especially since these dinosaurs went extinct millions of years ago.
We can all say that it's not real. 100% it's not real because they are extinct.
However, some do believe that it's a real dinosaur, with others speculating that it's an end-time sign. Of course, everyone is entitled to their opinions on different issues. At the same time, some believe that this is a hoax and a plot, or even in some cases a publicity stunt. Others are impressed by it, while it has put some in fear of which animal might be rediscovered. Which side do you fall on? Let me know about it in the comments down below.
And that's it. Really, some completely ridiculous claims. Should I expect anything from these big paleontology channels at this point? Big channels that create dinosaur videos at this point. These dinosaur videos, 90% of the time, they're just really bad. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. See you on the next one.